When we look at the ingredients for a tech ecosystem, we really want to look at, what has helped a startup, an early stage startup, move from A to B. And of course, we've highlighted the importance of skills and being able to reskill and upskill. But again, access to resources in close proximity. And when we look at tech companies have not necessarily niche requirements, but when building the next app, when building the next drone company, there are certain resources that you need, such as software licensing and or cloud storage space and cloud credits and so forth. One of those is having a marketplace actually that can allow entrepreneurs to access these is fairly important. And we look at the likes of, how Amazon AWS has started to set up, one of their biggest operations in Africa here in the Western Cape. This allows startups and founders to access that infrastructure of AWS to build their technology on it and ultimately to grow from that. And this puts, our startups at a far more advantage because they've got such close proximity to any programming, any support, and any opportunity that AWS can provide entrepreneurs. And they've done so much work through partnering with the local ecosystem, partnering with accelerators, incubators, universities, ecosystem bodies, and various others, just to make sure that entrepreneurs locally have the best support that they need. And that's the first place. Right? That's the first one, right? It's access to resources and tools that can be used to build a startup. And these, of course, generally would be technical. The second one, again, is access to financing. And of course, we can talk on length about venture capital in South Africa and venture capital in Africa. But access to financing, gives companies that necessary runway for them to scale and to grow. And when we look at data from 2013, Cape Town has drawn the highest year on year, the highest amount of not just investment deals, but also investment volumes. So it shows that there are bankable solutions that are being driven in the Western Cape, and investors are very much happy to trust and back Cape Town-based tech businesses. And of course, like I can say, as I mentioned earlier on, our success stories transcend our borders. We're seeing homegrown tech companies raising over 100 million US dollars, such as the likes of Jumo, Yoko, amongst others, just to scale and rapidly advance into new markets. So the technology that we're growing is phenomenal. It's competitive. It is bankable. And of course, we're seeing private sector leading these efforts to invest in tech companies. And we're very excited about that because it is this initiative by private sector to support entrepreneurship that creates a far more growing ecosystem, but more so creates a competitive ecosystem where we're seeing now the value chain of the fintech industry being far more broadened, the value chain of the edtech ecosystem being far more broadened, agriculture, energy, and so forth and so forth. And then the last one I think that I'll touch on, and of course there are many of them, but the last one that I want to touch on is on mentorship. It's very important that we see role models that look like us, who can grow, who can support new and aspiring founders. We can say these are the challenges that you will experience, and these are the best practices in navigating these challenges. These are the resources that you need, and these are the avenues that you should follow and pursue in terms of growing your business. And in so doing, it's in a way playing big brother or big sister for entrepreneurs. In the Western Cape, it's communities such as the Silicon Cape and the Stellenbosch Network that allows for such mentorship to be fostered within the community. We see the likes of Innovation City now that's bringing heavyweights from the international community who have invested in the likes of Spotify and Candy Crush. So we're seeing all these investors now from the international perspective who are now also trying to help mentor, support local entrepreneurs to say, if you're going to scale in European markets or scale in other markets, this is what you need to know. Not just, the business practice, but the cultural nuances that are very important when you want to scale internationally. So it's very important that, we groom and we create a platform for mentorship, but we also support the local communities that are trying to connect the tech ecosystem together. This could be through panels and webinars and so forth, but these are the ones where we can identify the mentors that we need for entrepreneurs and future innovators.